Plateau 6, the incomparable business. This is the one that most founders aspire to and few intentionally build, because most businesses, even well-run ones at Plateau 5, are still competing. Competing with other options, competing on features, competing on price, fighting for relevance in a market that has other choices for every client. Plateau 6 is where you stop competing and start owning, not the market, your position in it. And the distinction I want to draw here, one that I think matters more than any other in commercial strategy, is the difference between being better and being incomparable. Better invites comparison. If you're better than your competitors, a client will still compare you. They'll weigh up your features against theirs. They'll ask you why you cost more. They'll want to know what the alternative gives them for less. Being better is a starting point. It's not a position. Today we're starting at Plateau 6, the incomparable business. If you haven't watched the previous 5 videos, then I recommend that you do before beginning this lesson. Breaking through to Plateau 6 means that you have reached the perfect state where you only attract the business you want. No need to discount to compete on price, no wrong fit prospects wasting your time, and your business continues to grow in the right direction. You're now no longer better than everyone else, you're incomparable. Your competitor's not even a noise anymore. Incomparable means comparison irrelevant. When you're incomparable, the question isn't why should we choose you over X? The question becomes, where do we find someone like you? And the answer is, there is no one like you. That's Plateau 6. What does it look like to be there? Clients say, you're exactly what we need. Not you're good or you were recommended, exactly what we need. Specific, purposeful, like they were looking for you specifically. You're rarely compared on price, not because you're cheap, but because the comparison isn't relevant. You're not in the same bracket as the alternatives. Premium pricing is accepted without significant objection. Because when clients understand exactly what they're getting and why it's right for them, price becomes a secondary conversation. Wrong fit prospects self-select out. This is one of my favorite markers of a differentiated position. When your positioning is clear enough, the people who aren't right for you don't come to you, or if they do, they recognize quickly that you're not right for them and move on without wasting your time. And your marketing attracts the right clients and repels the wrong ones, not by accident, by design. In the previous plateau, you could articulate why you were better than your competitors. However, your prospects would still compare, even if it was just to reassure themselves that they were doing the right thing. That always left you open to negotiation on price or service. At Plateau 6, if you're incomparable, then the competition is now irrelevant. You no longer sell on features and benefits because those are the things you can be compared on. You sell on value and outcomes. What makes you different makes you unique. True blue ocean commercial strategy that gives you true dominance. It's an obvious distinction when it's put in front of you. A few years after we'd made the strategic decision to hold our prices through the 2008 banking crisis, when every instinct and every competitor said to raise them, I was approached at the industry conference by a competitor. You know, he said, we compliance consultants are really looking at putting our prices up together. You're too cheap and we can't compete. He wanted to collude, to agree collectively to raise prices so that he didn't have to compete with our pricing. I just smiled, because I understand something that he didn't. We weren't winning because we were cheap. We were winning because our clients trusted us in a way that his clients didn't trust him. We'd held prices through the crisis, absorbed the pressures ourselves while they'd raised theirs, and our clients remembered. By the time that conversation happened, we had more clients, better retention, stronger referrals, and a market position that his business simply couldn't match by pricing gains. He was stuck in the comparison trap, competing on price because he had nothing else to compete on, and his solution was to try and drag everyone else into the same trap with him. That's what the comparison trap does. It makes you focus on your competitors instead of your clients. It makes you reactive instead of strategic. And it makes you think the problem is price, when the real problem is that you haven't built a position that makes price irrelevant. We hadn't escaped the comparison trap by accident. We'd done it by making a series of deliberate, long-term decisions that he had chosen not to make. That conversation confirmed we were at Plateau 6, not because someone told us we were good, because a competitor admitted they couldn't compete with us. Okay, there is this me moment. Prospects don't ask about our competitors. They simply don't care about them. You are the supplier, provider, or business that they want to work with. Clients say, I've been looking for someone who does this. You've identified the exact purchasing need or pain point of your prospect in a way nobody else does. The competition becomes irrelevant. We don't win on price, we win on fit. Price is not the driver behind the buying decision. You're not in a race to the bottom. Our best clients found us. We didn't have to sell to them. Your reputation, your marketing, your web copy did all the hard work for you. The prospect just asked, where do I sign up? The wrong clients self-select out before they reach us. Remember all that time you used to waste pitching, writing proposals, and chasing up sales to prospects that you knew were not your ideal customer profile, or that you knew were always going to say no? Now they don't exist. They know they're not the right prospect, so they no longer ask you. Let me describe the comparison trap in more detail, because understanding why it's a trap helps you understand why escaping it matters so much. If a prospect can compare you to a competitor on features, process, or price, you're in it. The trap means constant pressure to discount. Decisions made on the wrong criteria. You're both good, but they're cheaper. Wrong fit clients who are a drain on your energy, your team, and your culture. Right fit clients who don't recognize you because you look the same as everyone else. A margin erosion over time as the comparison gets tighter and more competitive. Most businesses in the 2 to 15 million range are in this trap. They're not in it because they're bad at what they do, they're in it because they haven't done the deliberate work of escaping it. And here's the thing, you can't build your way out of it. Better systems, better team, better delivery. None of that gets you out of the comparison trap. Only positioning does. There are 3 routes out of the comparison trap. I call them reframe, redefine, and relevance. Reframing means changing how prospects think about the problem before they think about the solution. They arrive at a conversation with a set of assumptions about what they need, and you're positioned as one of several providers of that thing, you're competing. But if before they ever think about solutions, you help them see the problem differently, you've changed the game. You're no longer one option. You're the person who showed them something they couldn't see. Redefining means creating a category that you own, not claiming to be the best, something others can also do, but creating something, a methodology, a model, a way of working, a specific combination of things. That is yours. That competitors, if they want to compete, have to measure themselves against rather than simply undercutting you. Relevance means being specifically obviously right for your ideal client, not broadly competent for everyone. We work with founder-led businesses in the 2 to 15 million pound range that hit a growth plateau. That's more powerful than we help businesses grow, because the right person reads that and thinks, that's me, and the wrong person reads it and they move on. Both outcomes are correct. What does Incomparable actually sound like in practice? Not, we're a consultancy specializing in commercial development, but we're the only fractional commercial directors who work exclusively with founder-led businesses that have already proven their model but haven't yet built the infrastructure to scale it. Not, we deliver high-quality results, but our clients don't compare us because there's no direct comparison to be made. Not, we're better than the alternatives, but we created the framework the alternatives are now adapting. So the language matters, but it only works if the substance is real. Incomparable positioning has to be built on something structural and true, not just a clever way of saying the same things everyone else says. Building Plateau 6 requires 4 things. Clear, specific point of differentiation. Not we care more, or we're more passionate, or we really listen. Something structural. Something that comes from how you work, what you've built, what you know, or who you specifically serve. Positioning built around ideal clients, not all clients. This is the one founders find hardest, because saying no to revenue feels risky. But positioning for everyone is positioning for no one. Define the specific who, specific when, specific outcome, get narrow. The narrower you are, the more powerfully you attract the people who are right. The courage to repel the wrong clients. Now, this sounds strange, but a differentiated position that works will put off some people. That's not a failure, it's a system working. Wrong fit clients are expensive in ways that don't always show up in the P&L. They drain time, energy, team morale, and the clarity of what you stand for. And long tail thinking in every commercial decision. Reputation compounds, relationships compound. The decision to hold your position on price, to decline the client who doesn't fit, to invest in the relationship rather than chase the transaction, these decisions are often costly in the short term and transformative in the long term. You know you've broken through Plateau 6 when competitors follow your lead, when they start talking about what you introduced. When you define what good looks like in your market, not just achieve it, when ideal clients find you not just through relationships but through your position itself, and when you're ready for the next stage, category ownership. One practical thing. Try to complete this sentence. We are the only, what you do, for, who specifically, when, a specific moment or situation. Every word in that sentence matters. The only forces specificity, the who forces you to identify your ideal client, and the when grounds it in a real situation. If you can't complete it with genuine specifics, not generalities, not aspirational language, actual specifics, then you don't have a differentiated position yet. But you now have a brief for your next commercial priority. In the final presentation in this series, we're at Plateau 7, category ownership, where you stop following the market and start defining it. My name's Tom from Addoli. I'll see you in the last one. Thanks for watching. If you have questions, then get in touch or leave a comment. Subscribe to this channel to watch the rest of the series and to be the first to know when new videos are launched.